Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, we're jumping straight into the deep end today. We are going to dissect one of the most grueling evaluations a firefighter recruit goes through, the Ground Ladders Climb-A-Ladder station of the Florida Fire Minimum Standards Practical Exam. Now, if you know anything about this test, you know this is absolutely not just about walking up some rungs. It's this crazy, highly choreographed gauntlet of physical endurance, flawless technique, and, here's the kicker, non-stop verbal communication. So we're going to break down exactly what those state examiners are looking for, step by step.
All right, here's our roadmap. Section 1 is the pre-climb checklist. Then we'll hit verifying ladder safety in Section 2, move into form and body positioning for Section 3, walk through executing the climb in Section 4, and wrap it all up with the critical pass points in Section 5. Let's get into it. So, before we even look at the ladder, I need you to keep this number in your head. 4 minutes and 40 seconds. That is the absolute maximum time limit you get. Less than 5 minutes to flawlessly execute a massive list of commands and physical actions. And the real challenge here? You can't just do the actions perfectly. You have to continuously verbalize them. The examiner has to literally hear you prove that you understand firefighter safety and fireground operations, all while that clock is aggressively ticking down.
Okay, let's start with Section 1, the pre-climb checklist. This is all about proving your situational awareness before you even touch the ladder. Before taking a single step, the candidate has to face the examiner and basically rattle off this 9-point verbal checklist. It's got to be this rapid, confident rhythm. You have to state out loud that you have your full PPE on, you're notifying the IC, monitoring conditions, and going on air for an IDLH environment. Then you've got to say you're notifying interior and exterior crews, checking for a charged backup hose line, shutting down utilities, identifying a secondary means of egress, and working from the windward side. Whew, it's a mouthful, but it instantly proves to the examiner that you've got a total grasp on holistic fireground ops. Once you nailed that mental checklist, we roll right into Section 2, verifying ladder safety. This is the moment you actually walk up to the structure. As you approach the ladder, you've got to verify it's safe to climb. But here is a massive trap. Do not just say, the ladder is safe. Candidates actually fail right here because of that exact mistake. You absolutely must say, the ladder is safe and secure, or the ladder is safe and healed. The examiner is listening specifically for both of those conditions to confirm the ladder is ready for a human load. And look, while you're saying those exact words, the examiner isn't just standing there listening. They're doing this rapid visual sweep. They're checking your proper climbing angle, making sure the ladder is placed right, confirming the fly section is positioned correctly, checking that the halyard is locked in, and verifying the ladder is stable and being properly secured or heeled. It's this intense dual-layered test. You have to say it, but the equipment has to actually prove it. All right, moving to Section 3, form and body positioning. The safety checks are done. Now we get into the pure physical mechanics. Now there is a very common physical pitfall here. If you try to just muscle your way up the ladder incorrectly, your score is going to tank instantly. But if you use textbook form, you're golden. Let's look at exactly what that difference is. The fatal error here is pulling yourself up with your arms. When you try to muscle up with your upper body, you naturally pull your chest and hips right up against the rungs. That completely kills your mobility. What you actually need to do is push upward with your legs. By keeping your arms extended straight out, you keep your body slightly away from the ladder. It's like creating this perfect little pocket of space that lets your knees move freely so your leg muscles can do all the heavy lifting. Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, executing the climb. Time to put all of this into continuous motion. The climb itself takes some serious coordination. Step 1 is your hand placement. You can either grab the rungs palms down, or you can slide your hands up the back of the beams. Step 2, you literally have to announce out loud, maintaining 3 points of contact. Then Step 3, you start climbing, using alternate rungs. The examiner wants to see right hand with left foot, left hand with right foot. Your hands and feet can never, ever be on the same rung at the same time. And while you're executing that perfect climb, the script continues. For Step 4, you have to vocalize, using my legs to climb. Step 5 is all about head position. You've got to keep your eyes straight ahead. And Step 6 is pacing. The climb has to be incredibly smooth. No jerky movements, keeping the bounce of the ladder to an absolute minimum. To prove you've got that head position locked in, you actually have to say, maintaining visual awareness. Now, the nuance here is super important. You are absolutely prohibited from just staring down at your boots the whole time. You want to look straight ahead, but the examiners do want to see you taking occasional quick glances up toward the tip of the ladder so you know where you're going. All right, home stretch. Section 5, critical pass points. Let's do a rapid-fire summary of how to lock in that passing grade.
Think of these as your absolute mantras. If you want to conquer this exam, you always say safe and secure or safe and healed. Always maintain those 3 points of contact. Always use your legs for the actual climbing power. Keep your eyes forward, and for sure, always climb smoothly and under control. Hit these verbal cues while showing the right technique, and you're checking off the major evaluator boxes.
Let's anchor this in your mind one last time. The examiner is literally watching you like a hawk for that upright, stable, smooth form. If they see you get erratic, unbalanced, or unsafe, that's an instant fail.
So whatever you do, avoid these fatal errors. Never skip the safety verification. Never pull yourself up with your arms. Don't go bouncing the ladder around with heavy stepping. Don't continuously stare down at your feet. And seriously, never rush it. I know you only have 4 minutes and 40 seconds, but losing your physical control or skipping a verbal cue just because you're rushing will ruin the whole thing.
It's honestly a wild test of mind-body synchronization, right? You're physically exhausting yourself on a ladder while simultaneously reciting this complex internal script out loud to someone standing right there with a clipboard. So I'll leave you with this. Knowing the strict checkpoints, the required mantras, and the incredibly tight timeline, could you flawlessly execute this gauntlet of physical endurance and continuous verbal communication in under 5 minutes? It definitely makes you appreciate the precision required out there. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, and we'll see you next time.